Alright, let's talk a little about CSS. Now I have this program called Microsoft Expression Web, and this is an environment so you can easier for when you make your websites. It's kind of like a drag and drop in a sense, but I don't like to use it because I used it before and the website comes out completely different than what it looks like on here. But it's faster because I can just put in something and be able to see it render. So I'm going to make a little space, and we talked about paragraphs. So I'm going to put in, this is a paragraph. Hopefully my spelling's good. So instead of saving it and refreshing, you can just click design right here, and there you go. So this cool, faster way to do stuff like that. Now for CSS is your styling. So there's a couple of ways to do it. So I'm going to put right here, style. What happened? Okay. Style equals, and then quotes. Yeah, things like this, like it automatically adds quotes. So like it helps out sometimes, but I don't know, I'm so used to just coding, from scratch, and I don't have to, I have to put in everything manually. And again, let's go with, that's one of it, and we'll just put auto actually. So it's just only going to stretch according to how long the paragraph is. And the height also, we'll put it auto. Now let's go ahead and just see what happens. Now you see I can stretch this all the way down, and now that is right there, and now you can see it changed it up. So the width is 132 pixels according to the paragraph. Now let's say I wanted to type some more to type. Go back and see what happens. As you can see, since it's only 132 pixels, it's not going to keep on stretching as it was. But like this, like I said, it's kind of like a drag and drop paste. You can just fix it like this. But like I said, I don't like to do it that way. So first I'm going to make a container. Now if you jump in your code right here, you're going to see a lot of this div tags. So think of it as a container, right? Just simply as that, just a big block that's going to hold information in there. So I have an ID called top container. So we jump back in here. So I'm going to put a ID, and now you can call this whatever you want, but I'm just calling it box1. Go ahead and see how it automatically added this. Like I said, you don't have to use this, or you can download it and use it, but like I only use it for really like if I really want to make something real fast and kind of judge it really fast, then that's what it is. So all right, so I got my body, and in my body I got my div. All right, so now I can do the same thing and use the style right here and simply put it right there. But another way to do it is what I'm going to show you, and in your CSS is going to be like that. So the ID, once you see ID, it is a hashtag. So it's going to be, I have to put the style. So yeah, it automatically adds it, so that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So hash, as you can see, it already popped up, knowing that I have a ID already in here. And I think your Sublime Text Editor also works that way. So once you put your ID and you go up to where you want to put your style, and it will automatically do that. Sorry, it just seems like this. I'm pretty sure I spelled it right. They're saying it must have attribute, which is type equal text CSS. So that's why it was kind of a little funky. All right, so anyways, so you got your ID, and your ID, you name the box box1. So now we'll put the curly brackets, and those are located next to the letter P. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the width 100%. I'm going to go height. Let's do 250 pixels. Yeah, let's do that. So let's see what's up. All right, so you can see we got a little border, but that's just to show you. But we can add a border. So I'm gonna put border, colon. Now you have to put the size of it. So I want it to be 1 pixel. And now there's a couple of ones. There's solid, there's dashed, and there's a whole lot of other ones, but usually I just use solid. And now the color, and I'm gonna just put it black, and then semicolon. Now you go to design. Sorry, I'm so used to saving it. So you go to design. So now I got my border right there. All right, so that's fine. But now let's say I want to move this paragraph a little bit more towards the center. There's a couple of ways to do it. Let me try this out. Text align. Let's go center. See how that works. And it didn't work. But that's fine. Because what you want to use majority of the time is something called margin. Now margin is what helps you kind of push things left, right, or anything like that. So I'm going to use this one called margin left, and you can use margin right, margin left, margin top, margin bottom. So margin left, let's say 300 pixels. So I'm going to push it 300 pixels to the left, and as you can see, this is that place right there. And now, with that being said, as you can see in some of this, you might have a margin. I got a margin left right here. So like I said, there's a lot of different CSS, and we can talk about this for days, but just easier way just to understand it like that. So margin left. Now there's another way to do it. So instead of doing it like that, you can just put 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Now how this works is top, right, bottom, and left. So let's say the top, if we go back to our code or our design, we'll see it's back in the same way. So on the top I want 40 pixels. Now you can see I got my 40 pixels right there. Now of course on the right we have all our space, so that's the next one. And this is much easier to do than typing margin left, margin right, margin bottom, margin top. So it's just much easier that way. So this is your right, so I want to leave that 0. Now the bottom, I'm going to leave that 0 also. And then same thing on the left, I'm going to put 300. Go to your design, and as you can see, I got my 40 pixels on top and 300 left. So that's the best way you want to use margin and to like align your paragraph or whatever you want to align. It goes for images, so don't worry about that. It works for everything. Now next one is something called padding. Now this works the same as margin, but it's going to give a padding for the paragraph. So let's just put 10 pixels. And if you do it like this, it's universal, let's say. So padding 10 pixels all around, but you can use this fashion too. But usually padding is more or less like this. So if you can see right here around the text, there's padding. So that's how padding works. So if I put 0, demonstrate that. So you see it's the lines and the boxes are right there. So if I put 120, go to design. Now you can see the padding is all right there. It didn't affect my margins. It just affected only the text right here. So that's how padding works. And more or less, that's how these things work. So you can have it inline, which is this, and this overrides everything. So even if you have this box one right here, so I can change this and say, all right, instead of it being 100, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it 50%. Now that should work. Test it out. Oh no, I didn't. But it does. It overrides it. Or let's say 500 pixels. Try that out. See if that works. Nope, it didn't. But that's fine though. But you can do it like that. And that's how I usually do it too. Like I'll create my ID, then simply have all my code in here, and then when I like it, I simply just save it to right here. So there's a couple of ways of doing it, but that's how I do it usually. So we got an ID, we talked about the ID, and there's one called class. Now class will be period box 1, and the ID is this hash. So depending on what you see, just keep in mind class period ID is hash. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back to normal, back to the ID. Now it really doesn't matter how you use the ID or class, but that's if you really want to learn the code and how to do that. So like I said, there's inline, style, equals, and in quotes your style. And then there's internal, which is this. So in your head, so if you go back to our code, all this style will be in between these style tags. So you always keep in mind that if you want to do it like this, just have these style tags. And now external is what I'm about to show you, which means you're pointing to a different sheet. So as you can see, this is a completely different sheet. And now how to find that is right here. So you link it, and rel equals in quotes is a style sheet. Type is text CSS, and this href or hyperreference, as we talked about our A tags, is simply saying I got a folder called CSS, and in that folder is my CSS style sheet. So this is external. Internal when you have it on the same page, and inline is when you have it directly in your tag right here. The same thing goes with image. If I wanted to have an image, source equals whatever it is, then I can just style that too also with the same thing, or style. Sorry about that. So the same thing, I can put the width, the height, and everything according to how big I want that image. So let's jump back to your code. So now if you can't find it, you know it's in your CSS folder right here, and you go double, you got your contact, about raw and about page. Depending on what I use, you can delete one of them, but I was gonna change up the colors, that's why. But so that's why you have 2 of them, but you can go ahead and delete one if you want, or just keep it just to be on the safe side. So we're in our double, already have mine open. Now, like I said about the ID, so I got my ID, and it's called top container. And if this goes back to this, so the top container is literally everything right here, even this background image, which I'm going to show you. So next, after that top container, is our category box. So anything top container right there, boom. And if you go to your style sheet, you'll see top container. Width is 100, the height is 710, so let's put that at 310 just for kicks. And there you go, it's 310. Now this space is there because I have other ones that are 310. So right here, 710, I gotta change those, 310. Now change this to 0 because that's gonna stay at the bottom. So you can have it like that. And let's say you want to change, say you want it like this, but you want to change that text to a different size. So you simply find it in your file page. So as you can see, we got our image and our text that we need to change. So we find our class, top quote, and in that class is an H1 tag. So we simply go right here. All right, top quotes, as you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that, paste it down. Now I'm gonna add the H1. Now I'm gonna go ahead and delete this margin, and I'm gonna put font size, and let's just do 12 pixels. Save it, hit refresh. Okay, now we're good. So you can leave it like that if you want, or change everything back to what it was. So I'm gonna talk about this background image real fast. Now the background image you can do to whatever you want, but in my top container, I have the background image and the URL. Now, if you scroll a little bit past that, background size is 100%, so it keeps that photo just like that. So it's nice, it doesn't repeat itself. But when you upload it to your web hosting, of course, it's going to be in this fashion. Now I have this whole code just because I'm working on my local server. So when you upload it, make sure you have it like that, and if it does not work, just add a slash and it should work.